You see a freelancer quietly hiding income. You hear about a wealthy expat relocating to a tax haven. You watch politicians on television endlessly debating new tax hikes. When you perceive a financial injustice like that, your brain doesn't quietly analyze the math. It activates the amygdala. That is your biological threat center. You process the person cheating on their taxes as a literal physical danger. And a brain locked in threat mode stops looking at the bigger picture. That localized, visceral anger is highly useful. While you are staring at the petty evasions right in front of you, a much larger, completely legal mechanism is operating just out of view. The televised debates, the complex tax forms, the outrage over who pays their fair share, they function as a psychological decoy. They keep your attention perfectly misdirected away from the real heist. To understand the scale of that mechanism, we have to start with the physical baseline. This is M0. It is every actual printed banknote and minted coin currently existing in the physical world. Add up every physical euro created by the European Central Bank, and you hit a strict hard limit, roughly 1.5 trillion euros. But look at what happens when you check the balances of standard bank accounts, the money people believe they have ready to spend right now. That digital number, known as M1, sits at over 11 trillion euros. There is a massive gap in the math. Right now, banks are actively promising to pay out 7 times more currency than actually exists. The vast majority of the balance sitting in your checking account is not cash. It is an unbacked promise. A common defense for this gap is that banks are simply bringing a borrower's future wealth into the present. They anticipate the income you will earn over the next few years and advance it to you today. But resources are bound by physical laws. You cannot reach into the year 2035, extract labor, and pull it into today. To lend something in the present, you have to subtract it from a stock of wealth that exists right now. Think of it like a harvest. You work hard, produce 100 liters of pure extra virgin olive oil, and deposit it into a secure vault. That oil represents your genuine labor and physical value. But the vault operates under a fractional reserve rule. In Europe, the requirement is 1%. For every single liter of pure oil you deposit, the system is allowed to generate 99 liters of cheap synthetic palm oil created with zero effort and mix it directly into the vat. When you return to withdraw your wealth, you receive a thoroughly mixed liquid, and a strictly enforced state law dictates that everyone, every merchant, business, and citizen, must accept this diluted mixture exactly as if it were the pure original. The bank didn't advance your future prosperity. By flooding the system with unearned digits, they actively and systematically diluted the purchasing power of the wealth you produce today. We categorize this diluted money in expanding tiers. M0 is the tiny, solid core of physical cash. Outside that sits M1, immediate, visible bank debt that functions seamlessly as cash for your daily purchases. Move to the next layer out and you hit M2. This adds short-term debt into the mix. It acts like money, but it lacks that immediate, instant liquidity. Finally, you reach M3. This massive outer boundary absorbs highly complex, long-term financial instruments, swelling the total European system to 17.5 trillion euros. Calling all of these layers money is a linguistic trick. When you look at the structure as a whole, the modern money supply is not a stable store of value. It is an escalating stack of debt. If the supply of currency is being diluted at a ratio of 99:1, we should be seeing catastrophic hyperinflationary spikes in the cost of basic goods every single day. So why aren't we? Because there is a massive counterforce pushing prices down: technology. 50 years ago, a farmer working from sunrise to sunset might manage to harvest a single hectare of crops. Today, that exact same farmer, sitting in an air-conditioned combine, can clear hundreds of hectares alone. The hours in the day haven't changed, but the yield is exponentially higher. By the natural laws of economics, food, housing, and goods should be incredibly cheap right now, but they aren't. Every natural drop in cost created by our technological brilliance is instantly met with an artificial upward spike, driven entirely by the creation of new bank debt. You are working smarter. You are producing vastly more physical wealth than previous generations ever could. Yet your purchasing power stays stagnant Because the financial system silently absorbs all of your hard-earned technological gains. Which brings us back to the start. If the state and the banking sector can endlessly finance themselves simply by printing currency and diluting your wealth, why do they even bother collecting visible taxes? Because taxes serve a vital political function. They give you a tangible number. They give you a deadline. They give you a specific face and a target to get angry at. Instead of questioning the integrity of the currency itself, the entire political energy of a society gets securely corralled into endless, exhausting arguments over tax brackets and deductions. Visible taxation is the ultimate straw man. It is a carefully engineered decoy designed to absorb all of your outrage while the monetary printing press runs completely unseen in the background. The only way to defeat a magic trick is to intentionally look away from where the magician is pointing. Stop wasting your energy on the petty tax dodgers. Stop letting partisan debates over a few percentage points consume your attention. Point your focus directly at the invisible machinery that dilutes your labor. The word money is a linguistic trap used to legitimize debt. We have to learn to spot the palm oil hidden in the system, because the true funding source for the state is not taxation. It is the silent, daily dilution of your time, your labor, and your life.